Okay. Very good morning, my dear friends. This is Dr.PADALA Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Government Degree College for Women, Jagityal. In the regarding of CPGET 2024 free online coaching, today our eminent resource person, Dr. A.KAVITA Madam Garu, will going to explain about the topic related to gymnosperms. It is most important topic related to our CPGET syllabus. So, my dear friends, utilize this wonderful opportunity. Madam, remaining students will join within short period. Please, you share the screen and start your session. Madam.
Okay, sir.
Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Good afternoon to everyone. So this is Dr. A.KAVITA. I'm going to explain you today about the economic importance of gymnosperms. So from which 1 or 2 questions can be expected in the competitive exam related to gymnosperms, which are very, very important. And just I'm start sharing my screen. One second, just I'm start sharing my screen. Yeah, so now we are discussing about the economic. I hope we can see the screen, sir, please.
Yeah, yes, madam.
Yeah. So we are discussing today about the economic importance of the gymnosperms. So as per the economic importance, gymnosperms will play a prior role. That is, they have been classified on the different values like food value, medicinal value, timber value, so source of oil, industrial, ornamental, and all that. So you can look into this here. As per the economic importance, the gymnosperms have a very good economic importance in all these aspects. The one or the other genus of the gymnosperms, they are playing a very important role of having the economic value. So that examples and all those we'll discuss today. Now, when we talk about the food value, the cycads, that is the cycas group belonging to the Cycadopsida, they are a good source of starch. So the food value that is related to these cycles, sago, this is a one. So you can see here, we call it in Hindi or in Telugu, we call it as sabudana. Okay. So this is the pudding what we prepare from the sago. So that we call it as sago pudding. So this is a starch material. It is a starch which is obtained from the pith and the cortex of the Cycas revoluta stem and as well as Cycas rumphi. So as we talk about the food value here, and another one is the seed starch is obtained from the seeds and it is prepared into the flour and cooked before eating. So the flour, whatever is there, that is all transformed into these sabudana like the ball-like structures, and that will be boiling them and cooking them and to make it pudding or the dessert. Whereas the seeds of, you can see here, even the seeds of pinus, the species called as Gigardiana, they are edible and they are commonly known as Silgoza. So these are the pinus seeds which have the having the value of edible value. And the bread, this is called as a coffee bread. This is the bread which is prepared from the stem of Encephaloretus of the gymnospermic plant. And even the young leaves of cycas, they are cooked as vegetables in parts of the world. And the seeds of the netum, even they are also edible. You can see here, these seeds just like our badam. Okay, these seeds are also edible seeds in some parts of the world. So all these these examples plays a role of the food value. The examples like Cycas stem of Cycas revoluta, Cycas rumphai, and the Pinus grigardiana, and Neetum, the Cycas young leaves, they play an important role of the food value. They are imparting the food value of the economic importance. Next comes to the medicinal value. When we go with the medicinal value of these gymnosperms, the best example here, it is the taxol. It is an alkaloid which is being extracted from the bark of the gymnospermic plant called as Taxus burvifolia. Okay, so this is an example, Taxus burvifolia, from which we are going to extract an alkaloid called as taxol. Now, this alkaloid, it is used in the chemotherapy of ovarian cancer or in all the cancers disease. This taxol is used as an alkaloid in the chemotherapy purpose. So what will chemotherapy? We all know that the patients who are suffering from the cancers, once they detect is they are suffering from cancer, the doctors will advise them to for the chemotherapy. That is, they'll inject the chemical substance into the body, and these chemicals, they are acting on the cancerous cells and killing those cells. Okay. So this taxol is one of the most important alkaloid which is used in this chemotherapy, which is extracted from the taxus bark. So this is also called as another drug, what we call as paclitaxel. This is another drug. This is the what we call it as the the structure, the organic structure of these drug, which is acting like an anti-cancer drug, and it is sold under the trade name called as Taxol. Okay, this is the drug called as paclitaxel, PTX we call it as. So this is a drug which is synthetic drug prepared, and actually the alkaloid what is used in this drug preparation, it is taken from the bark of the taxifolus. So this is one basic. Now 1 in hundreds or thousands, now they are suffering, the people are suffering from cancer. So chemotherapy has become like one of the essential therapy for the cancerous patient. So this drug is being extracted from the taxus plant. Next drug which is used here is the ephedrine. So this is also a very famous drug used in the cardiac patients. So ephedrine, it is an alkaloid which has been extracted from the gymnospermic plant called as ephedra, and it is used in the treatment of asthma, cough, cold, bronchitis, etc. And this decoction of this ephedra, it is acting like a cardiac stimulant. Like those are suffering from the cardiac diseases, it acts like a stimulant over there. And look into this. This is the one which we call it as an ephedrine drug, which is used in the medicine what we prepare. So ephedrine, this is an alkaloid extracted from the ephedra, which is used against the asthma and the cough or the bronchitis disease. Next, young juice. The juice of the young leaves of Cycas revoluta, it is used for curing blood vomiting. This is also another best example of medicinal value. And the gum of the Cycas, the gum which is extracted from the Cycas plant, it acts like an antidote against the snake bite. So in the previous day, that is in the ancient times and all that, there is not much development in the drug chemistry. Okay. So in the drug, that is in allopathic medicine or the synthetic drugs, whatever they are prepared, there is not there was not that much advancement. So in the previous days, like in the ancient times, the people they used to depend on the plants of their medicinal value to treat the diseases and all that. They used to depend on the plants. So these are the plants which are of gymnospermic plants, which are having the importance of the medicinal value of curing the snakes. Like they generally people like tribal people and all, they live in the forest regions. Okay, so there is an every scope for them to get to have the snake bite, because snakes are more in the forest regions, and for their livelihood and all that, they will be moving around in the forest. So there is an every chance for them to get attacked by the snake bite. So at the time, what they used to do, there were no hospitals and all that to reach and to cure for that snake bite and all that, to take the treatment. So what they used to do, they used to depend on these plants, not only this, some other medicinal plants also, to get rid of that poison of that snake bite. Okay, so it acts like an antidote. So ephedrine, the gum of the cycas plant, which is taken up, extracted from the cycas plant, and it is acting like an antidote. Like that, the plants which are having a medicinal value, they are, these are the gymnospermic plants, what we discussed just now. They are having a very good medicinal value of treating some or the other disease. So best examples here, what we discussed are the taxol. This is an alkaloid taken from the taxus plant, and ephedrine, and another one is a gum of the cycas plant. So these are some of the plants of the gymnosperms having the medicinal value. Next comes to the timber value. Even the timber, that is the bark of the plants, are also having the economic importance. So gymnosperms, as we know that they are there, these plants are very huge plants growing and having the source of timber. So these gymnospermic woods are soft wood. Okay, they're not the hardwood, they are the softwood. So softwood means they are useful in making furniture and other construction purpose. Like for example, this is a pinus wood, what we can say here. And this is an example of a small wooden vessel, which is made from the Oricaria wood. And this is also another vessel which is made up of the cedrus. This is a Cedrus deodara. Now, so the coniferous woods, so the wood which is extracted from the conifers, they are resistant towards the insects and the fungus. So as they are resistant towards the insects and the fungus, so the wood is having a very good value of either for construction purpose or for making any these vessels and all that. So these woods, so they are resistant. They also have a good durability and they are lighter in weight. So another example here is the Agathis australis. This is the larger timber producing tree in the world. And some gymnosperms, they also produce some scented woods. So like we have a best example of a sandalwood, like Pterocarpus santalinus, which is having a very good aroma or the scented wood nature. So just like that, even Cedrus deodara, which is of gymnosperm, this is also having a scented wood nature, which is of economic value. Next is the wood of pinus. It can be used in making the doors, either the pole or the beams or the railway wagons, flooring, etc. Okay. And the wood from the Podocarpus belonging to the family Podocarpaceae, even that wood it is actually a plywood. So what is the plywood here? The plywood, we are using it for the preparation of interiors, like the cupboards and all that. Okay, so for that purpose, that we call it as a plywood. So wood of this Podocarpus, it is used in the used as a plywood in preparation of cots or in the preparation of the interiors of the cupboards and all that. It can be used. So when we talk about the timber value, the wood of Oricaria, the wood of Cedrus, the wood of Agathis, and the wood of Podocarpus and the Pinus. So these best examples of gymnosperms are well known for their timber value. Now, next comes to the, apart from medicinal value, apart from food value, and also from the timber value, some of the gymnospermic plants, they are going to secrete oil. So we can extract the oil from their plant parts. So even the gymnosperms, they act as a source of oil. So in some regions, that oil is taken as an edible form. So we call it as an edible oil. So the seeds of Cycas revoluta, Macrozamia, Pinus sembra, and Cephalotaxus. So these are the gymnospermic plants. The seeds of these plants, they are able to produce the oil. So that oil can be extracted from these seeds, and it is playing a role of an edible oil. Now, next come to the another important one which we use in our generally labs. Okay, so that oil we call it as red cedar wood oil. Okay, which is extracted from the plant called as Juniperus virginia. So this is the plant from which the oil, whatever we extract, it is used in the oil immersion microscopy. That is under 100x. Suppose if the microscope we want to observe under the 100x, definitely it should be an oil immersion lens. So at the time of observation, we used that oil drop, whatever we are using here in the microscopy, that oil is being extracted from the gymnospermic plant called as Juniperus virginiana. Okay, this oil is called as red cedar wood oil. And the oils are also obtained from Cetrus deodara. So I told you that Cetrus deodara, it is the wood of it is going to have the centered nature. Okay, so even from the wood also we can extract the oil. So from the Cetrus deodara or Siptomaria japonica and Cupressus sempervirens, this is a very good example here, which is the oils which are extracted here from these plants. They are used in the preparation of perfumes and soaps, as they are going to have the scented nature. So these are the examples. Again, I'll go back here for the source of oil, the best examples of the gymnosperms, which are playing a role of the oil source. The edible oil, which is extracted from Cycas revoluta, Macrozamia, and the Pinus, and Cephalotaxis also. Next comes the oil what we use in the immersion microscopy, that is Juniperus, and the oil which is used in the preparation of cosmetics and in the perfumes and in the soaps. Those oils are being extracted from Cetrus and Cupressus mainly, Cupressus sempervirens. Now, next comes to the industrial value here, that is on a larger scale for the production of certain products. What we are using here. First, these are the secondary metabolites, what we extract from these plants. One is the tannins. The tannins is going to be extracted from the bark of Oricaria, Pinus, and also the sequoia, which are used in the leather industry for softening of the leather and for the tanning. These tannins are going to be used, which are extracted from the Oricaria and all. These are the one which are called as the secondary metabolites. Next comes to the most important one, the Canada balsam, what we use in our labs, especially in the preparation for the permanent mounts and all that. So this is a resin. This Canada balsam, you can look into this diagram also. This is a resin which is obtained from the plant called as Abies balsamia. So andukane we call it as Canada balsam. Abies balsamia, so which is used as a mounting medium in the biological preparation. So generally here, when we prepare a permanent mount of the section, so after the staining and all that, we are going to use a drop of Canada balsam. So what is this? A drop of Canada balsam used on the end so that it is a resin. It acts like a sticky material. Okay. So the cover slip can be stick to the slide for fixing our section. So this Canada balsam, it has some refractive index as that of the glass. Now, next comes to the resin, which we call it as the umber, which is obtained from the gymnosperm called as the Pinus sacinifera. So it is used for making jewelry or pipes and the cigar holders. Okay, this is also a resin, umber resin. Umber, we call it as a resin obtained from the Pinus sacinifera. So this is a very good example here. Next, about the paper industry. So in the preparation of newspaper or in the printing papers or writing purpose, the paper, wherever we are going to use. The best example here is the wood pulp, the wood pulp of pinus, ABs and Pixia. So these are the gymnospermic plants from which the wood pulp is being extracted, and that pulp is going to be used in the paper industry. And here, these are the beautiful examples here. Just now I told you the umber, which is used in the preparation of making the jewelry. And the gum, which is extracted from the cycas, it is used as an adhesive. And the leaves of the cycad plants, they are also used in the preparation of making baskets, mats, hats, as well as the brooms also. Next comes to the fibers, which are taken up from the leaves of cycas and macrozamia. They are used in the stuffing of the pillows and the cushions, what we use. In the cushions, in the pillows, the stuffing, the fiber stuffing, what we use, it's not, this is a natural fiber, what we use in some of the one which are of handlooms and all that. They use the natural stuffing of the fibers which are obtained from these plants of cycas and the macrozamia. And another very good example here is pencils. Okay, in the preparation of the pencils, what we use, the wood of the taxus wood, it is also used in the preparation of the pencils. Next comes to the gum, the resin, we call it as oleoresins, which have been produced from the Pinus roxburghi. So the gum resins, which are brittle and aromatic solids, which are used in the preparation of soaps, varnishes, and the ink, the printing ink, what we use for printing purpose, the ink will be used. So that is the one which is being produced like an oleoresin. We call it as a gum resin or the oleoresins, which have been extracted from the Pinus roxburghi. So next, this is about the industrial value. So just we'll have a glance of these industrial value again. First industrial value, if I talk about the secondary metabolites of the tannins, which are obtained from the bark of Oricaria, pinus, etc. And the Canada balsam, which is used for our biological preparations in our labs, the Canada balsam that is being prepared from Abies balsamia. And next comes to the umber, which is obtained from Pinus succinifera, which is used in the preparation of the jewelry. So you can look into the beautiful lockets. They are being obtained from that is umber, which is obtained from the Pinus plant. Next comes in the paper industry, in the preparation of paper, that is the newspapers or for writing purpose or for printing of the paper, whatever we are using. Sorry. The wood pulp of Pinus, Pixia, and the Abies, they play a very important role here in the paper industry also. And the adhesive taken up from the gum of the cycas plant, and the leaves of the cycas in the broom, preparing of baskets, mats, in brooms, etc. And the fibers obtained from the leaves of cycas, the fiber is used as a stuffing material in the pillows and all that. And another very, very important one for making the pencil, whatever that we use the pencil here, the wooden pencil, the wood, whatever we used in the pencil, that is taken up from the wood of the taxus. And another one is the oleoresins, which are obtained from the Pinus roxburghi. So this is about the industrial value. Some best examples of the gymnosperms, which are playing a role of the industrial value. And the last, what we can explain here is the ornamental value. So what are the ornamental value? That means many of the gymnospermic plants, they are cultivated or they are grown as the ornamental plants. That is to increase the beauty of the surroundings. Those plants act as the ornamental plants. Now the best examples here are the cycas plant, which we use for the leafy ornamental due to the beauty of the leaves, and the zamia for their leafy ornamental again. Next comes to the Oricaria. Here you can, there's the best example of the Oricaria for their avenue nature, it acts like an avenue tree. And the Thuja Even for that, it's acting like a small shrub. And Podocarpus, which is a small tree. Pinus for its beautiful cones and all that. We are using it as a beautiful ornamental plant. And Podocarpus acting again like a small tree. Juniperus as a bonsai. And ginkgo. In certain places, it is acting like a leafy ornamental, and it is acting like a sacred plant for the tribal people. So you can look into the beautiful diagrams of the images of the bonsai, which are prepared from these gymnospermic plants. Okay, so pinus plant you can look into here. This is a beautiful, this is a Podocarpus plant, Thuja plant, and this is a Juniperus. They all are used as the preparing a bonsai plant. Okay, this is of the ornamental value. And the remaining other uses, when I talk about the gymnosperms, the strong roots which are present in the gymnosperms, they help in preventing the soil erosion. So as the plants are huge plants, okay, definitely they have a very well developed strong root system. So these root systems, they help in holding the soil particles together and prevent the soil erosion. And few examples like ginkgo, which is a living fossil, they provide the important scientific knowledge of the past flora of the earth. That is, it was a plant living, it was the plant of the Mesozoic era, but still now the plant is existing. So that is the reason why we call it as a living fossil, cycles and some species of ginkgo. So they provide a very good scientific knowledge of the past flora. Next, another important economic value is the bark of Neetum. The Neetum nimon species and Neetum eula. So it is used to obtain the fiber for making the fish nets and the ropes. So this is also a very good important economic value. The bark of Neetum nimon and the Neetum eula. So these are the two species of the Neetum plant which are used as a fiber yielding plant for making the fish nets and all that. Next, some gymnospermic plants, particularly the conifers, they act a good source of the fuel. Okay, fuel wood. Okay, so these are some examples of the other economic uses of the gymnospermic plants. So I hope this is the economic importance of gymnosperms of all these species. It's the genus and the species, it plays a very important role. So just we have a glance of all these values of the economic one. I'm just scrolling up. Okay. So when I talk about the economic value, so the economic importance of these gymnosperms, they are playing a role of food. They're acting like a food material. They're also having a value of medicinal value. Next, as a timber value, source of oil, some industrial value, having the ornamental value, that is the aesthetic value also, and for other users. So when we talk about the food, cycus, in the preparation of sago due to the starch present in it. And the plant called as the seeds of pinus. It is also the seeds of the pinus are commonly known as chilgoza seeds. So that is the reason they are the edible seeds also. And coffee bread, it is prepared. And even the young leaves, they are used in the preparation of the food material. They are used in the preparation of the food. Next, I told you that they are the medicinal value. This has to be not forgot. They are having a very important role of the alkaloid, which is used in the cancer treatment, in the chemotherapy. So the Taxol taken from the Taxus plant, and also the ephedrine, which is having the treatment of asthma and all that. And also it is used as a cardiac stimulant. Next, the juice of cycas. The juice of cycas used in the curing the blood. Please, you can mute yourself. Next comes to the another important point here, the cyclic gum. I told you that it is acting like an antidote for the snake bite. Timber value, so the timber which is extracted from the different plants of the gymnosperms, like the gymnosperms of agathis, the cedrus. Here, please, who are yeah, please don't write anything on the screen here. The wood of agathis, the wood of cedrus, and the wood of pinus, podocarpus, they all play a very important role in preparation of the furniture, in the preparation of doors, in the preparation of railway wagons, flooring of the railway wagons, and the wood are scented, which are used in the preparation of their the plywood and all that. Next are the essential oils, the gymnosperms like microzamia, cephalotaxus, juniperus. They are the source of oil and of industrial value of pinus, equa, and oricaria in the tannin, extracted from the tannins, especially used in the leather industry. Canada balsam, extracted from Abies balsamia. Pinus succinifera, used for making jewelry and cigar holders. In the paper industry, the wood pulp of pinus and all that. And the leaves are using as the adhesive. And the fibers are used in the stuffing of the pillows and all that. And gum resins for Pinus rosberger. These are the ornamental plants, which are a best example of the gymnosperms growing as the ornamental plants and increasing the aesthetic value. And these are some of the gymnospermic plants prepared as a bonsai plant. Okay, I hope this is clear. I'm just stop sharing here. Yeah, I hope this is clear for you all of the economic importance of the gymnosperms.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you said that in ephedrone or in something, ma'am, cancer treatment,
Yeah.
chemotherapy is done now, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, yes.
What is meaning of chemotherapy, ma'am?
I'm telling you, they will pass some chemical substances into the body. Okay. So what is that?
Okay,
They'll
ma'am.
pass one medicine, okay, into our body.
Okay, ma'am.
So that is the cancer patients who are suffering with cancer. So these chemical substances or the injections or the medicine which will enter into the body, that medicine will go and attack the cancer cells, where which part of the body is affected with infected with the cancer cells. It will go and directly and attack those cancer cells and they will kill them. Okay. So such therapy is called as chemotherapy. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, the one what I told you just now, that is the Taxol, which is an alkaloid. So that medicine is being prepared from the gymnospermic plant called as Taxus. So which is a good source, which is acting just like a anti-cancerous. That medicine is used in the preparation of the drug for chemotherapy. Am I clear?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
one more question, ma'am. Ma'am,
Huh?
cancer is curing disease, curing disease or uncuring disease, ma'am?
We can't say that it is a curable or non-curable. The starting stage, once if we detect the patient suffering with cancer, they will grade the stages. Okay, they are in grade 1, that is first stage, second stage. That is, if the patient is just now infected, that is, if the cancer cells are just forming, okay, they are very less in number, those are called as stage 1. The patient, we call it as a stage 1. If the number of the cancer cells is increasing, that leads to stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Am I clear? So depending upon the extension of the disease, how much of the disease is there in the body, that is how many number of cancer cells are there in our body, the doctors will decide the stages. That gives you the extension, that gives you the how much disease is there in the body. Okay, so if the disease in the starting stages, it can be curable. Okay, so there are many such cancers for example, like breast cancer. If they're in the early stages, they can be curable by just some chemotherapies or radiotherapies. They can be curable. But if the disease is in a more extensive stage, that is, if they are more in a more last stage, then at that time, the disease cannot be cured. Though if they are done with the chemotherapies or all, we can't say that the patient will be alive for longer days. So so when the detection of the disease in the early stage is better when compared to the later stage, depending upon the symptoms, the doctor will suggest. Am I clear? I hope what I explained is clear. Right. Okay. So Inga, still any more doubts here to explain?
Okay, Naina, any doubts? Okay, so thank you very much, madam. So
Yeah, thank you, sir.
economic importance of gymnosperms is the most important topic. Definitely, you may get 1 or 2 questions in your CPGET 2024 question paper. So be ready. I will send YouTube link also within soon, today evening. Thank you very much, madam. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we will meet.
Yeah, on Monday,
Thank
sir,
you.
again. Monday with the type studies we'll start with.
Monday,
minus, I'll start.
yes, Monday we'll join.
Minus.
Okay.
I'll start with
Okay.
minus. Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
madam. Thank you.